And now we go to the next speaker, who is Carlos Polo. Yeah, and I will shortly introduce him. So Carlos is a serial entrepreneur with a few successful companies in his portfolio. He is the founder of NTS, a leading technology company in consulting, development and implementation of computer systems for mobility and cloud computing tools. Carlos also established a small venture capital company and a food industry adventure, where he is not only a founder but also a board member. Besides his success in business and corporate world, he was also consultant, and he was also the former director of the University of Delft Master in Software Development, and he is also an author of a book about innovation and startup creation. So really great CV. I will give the floor to you.
Thank you, Antonia. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be super sharp with time, 5 minutes, so we can take advantage of that. I'm here in a panel because I'm going to tell you that design thinking is overvalued. It is. And I'm going to try to explain it to you with an English statement that I find is super interesting, that says that you have to put your money where your mouth is. So what I'm going to try to explain to you here today in 5 minutes is 2 companies that I founded in which I failed and I lost money, and try to connect that with the design thinking process and the design thinking decisions that I made. So first of all, take a look to this slide. Do you remember the Segway? It was great. I saw that and I say to my wife, hey, Almudena, this is going to be the future. We're going to go work using a Segway. How many of you owns a Segway today, or even has rented a Segway for an hour? Can you raise your hands, please? Less than 2% of the audience. How many of you has used a scooter, or buy a scooter for a daughter or son, or have hired a scooter, an electric scooter in San Francisco that is in a hype today? Do you know what I mean? The problem is that if you try to do a design thinking process to create innovative products, maybe the first result would be this one, the Segway, but the market would adopt this one. That has nothing to do with it. And on the other hand, there is a bigger problem that is related to venture capital firms. And I can tell you a lot about that because I have lost a lot of money too on venture capital firms. That is that when you create new technology, when you create technology enablers, like this one, this is an accelerometer. This is what made the Segway possible. This is what all your smartphones has to detect if you raise your phone, switch on the screen and whatever. You know what is the cost of an accelerometer today for 1 unit? €8. And so, with this introduction, I'm gonna present you my first company, the first company in which I failed, and I lose a lot of money. It's documents. We were like 4 months creating a product, an amazing product. We created a new document format that was super interesting because it was the evolution of PDF. If you create a document with our format, you would be able to send the document to a person and know how it's been read, know if it's open or not, know where is that document open from, know if the document has been printed or not, know if the document, for example, a sales proposal to a customer or a quotation, has been forwarded to a competitor. You have the control. We spent like 400,000 euros creating the product, and it was a failure, a big failure. Despite technology was great. We did design thinking. I hired very good engineers, and the technology was great. But it didn't provide any kind of innovation to the market because it's done, it's dead, doesn't exist anymore. Because there's no revenue stream coming from that, and we couldn't be able to maintain the company. And the reason is that the market is a tyranny. Do you know Uber? Can Can you tell me what did Uber invent? Nothing. Did they invent apps? No. Taxis? No. Personal transport in cities? No. Nothing. What was the innovation in Uber? The point is that market demand sometimes is hidden. And the only way to uncover the market demand is creating quick and fast products that test something in the market. This is what I did with Perpetual, the other company in which I didn't do any kind of design thinking, but I also failed. This app was about making your address book on your smartphone always updated. You install the app, and magically, whenever any of your contacts change their contact details, your address book is already updated too. We got like 2 million downloads and 250,000 users, active users daily active users. It was a great adoption. We got funded from banks and some business angels too, but it was a failure too, because we didn't find a business model. The app was working, technology was adopted, we didn't invent anything, everything was already created, and we didn't do any kind of design thinking. You know why? Antonia said before in the early presentation that design thinking is something to create fast prototyping and fast testing. What is fast for you? 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? 1 day? It depends on the business, that's right. So if you want to create a shopping cart, or if you want to create a car, or if you want to create an electrical bicycle, you can maybe afford to do design thinking. If you are in the digital space, design thinking is super slow. It's super slow because changes here are made week by week or even day by day, depending on how downloads are working. Take a look at this. Do you see this screen? It says introduce your password and confirm your password. Do you know the drop-off of this screen? Do you know how hard it is to repeat the password without making a mistake on a mobile phone? Changes here has to be done in 1 hour. Because if you are launching a marketing action with a very well-known newspaper or whatever, and you're getting thousands of downloads per hour, you have to update the app in hours. You can't wait for anything. You can't wait for a day or for a month. So, is design thinking the right tool for digital innovation? Really depends. Really depends on speed, and really depends on the product. It's not the same for developing technology enables. It's not the same for developing or creating startups or easily designed products. What I think, and this is only my opinion, is that it's super interesting to generate these skills on students and future entrepreneurs, but take care and watch out, because design thinking can be the trap for the business. And maybe it's going to be something hard to overtake and get the market. That is what you want. So instead of doing this, that is the ideal design thinking process, what I could say is that if you put on my shoes, if you are in my skin, what you have to do to make fast product design is try to make a very short iterations in a lean startup process. And that's the way, the best way to generate good products on the digital space. So, thank you.
Thank you very much for this really practical presentation that complements the academia.